Hello and welcome to the Business Standard Morning Show. I'm Debarghe Sanyal. It's the 6th of June 2023 and here are the top stories for the day. On June 4th, 2 days after a three-train crash resulted in 275 deaths and 1,175 injuries in Odisha's Balasore district, the Ministry of Railways recommended an inquiry by the Central Bureau of Investigation into the incident. A railways official also said that the Ministry of Home Affairs was already assisting the railways in the probe and preliminary findings indicated a signalling error. While we wait for more answers, let us analyze how the railways has performed when it comes to ensuring the safety of the passengers. How is it managing critical areas like signalling and maintenance? And which zones are lagging behind? Dhruvaksh Saha and Bhashwar Kumar bring you the answers.
The three-train collision in Odisha on June 2nd is one of the worst accidents in independent India's railway history. Having left 275 dead and 1,175 injured, it has brought the focus back on the lack of safety at the national transporter. This is underlined by the fact that despite record budgetary allocations for infrastructure upgrade and safety, consequential rail accidents increased by 37% year-on-year in 2022-23. The only saving grace was that many of these accidents involved goods trains, with most not reporting casualties. The data was shown in an official safety review meeting conducted by the Ministry of Railways in April. There were 48 consequential train accidents in FY23, as compared to 35 in the previous fiscal year. Besides, an alarming 35 incidents of signal passed at danger. There were 162 non-consequential train accidents last fiscal, as compared to 208 in FY22. Poor rolling stock maintenance, lack of pointsmen, and long working hours of crew in several railway zones were found to be key factors leading to the increase in accidents. A train accident is considered consequential if one or more of the following scenarios applies. There's total communications failure for over 3 hours after the accident, partial failure for 6 hours, value of damages crosses 2 crore rupees, and loss of life. Now, let's move to how the railways maintains both passenger and non-passenger safety. Most expenditure on safety is undertaken through the detailed budget allocations under specific sections. Expenditure from the Rashtriya Rail Sanraksha Kosh and Railway Safety Fund are used for one-time or special safety works, claim experts. So, how does the planned expenditure of the railways on various aspects of safety stack up? Buoyed by record budgetary support, most expenditure on works saw an increase in FY24. The signalling and telecom budget saw a massive 73% increase from the revised estimates of FY23. However, it is important to note that much of this increase could be attributed to the commissioning of Kavach anti-collision system, which is a new expenditure for the railways, explaining the disproportionate rise in the S&T budget. Meanwhile, track renewal works were taken up at a rapid pace, as the revised estimates show an upward revision of 15%. This amount saw a further upward revision in FY24 budget. But the FY23 budget estimate itself had a major decline in allocation towards track renewals as compared to FY22 actuals. Across the board, budgetary allocation towards passenger and non-passenger safety increased by 20% between the FY23 revised estimates and FY24 budget estimates. So, safety work appears to be in progress across all fronts. But which safety segment requires the most attention and effort?
Mainly, I feel that the area where we are lagging is track renewal. Rolling stock, overjet rolling stock we are not having. Signaling, we have almost 100% switched over to coral light signaling and electronic interlocking. But the areas of maintenance are mainly there in track renewals.
There are European signaling system. One is called European norms, EN, which incorporates coach-like thing also. We should also think of cab signaling. That means the driver knows the signal aspects right by looking at the dashboard in the cab.
As of 2022, there were 19 railway zones in India. The Southeastern Railway Zone is where the latest accident took place. So, how do the various zones stack up in terms of various aspects that contribute to safety and the attention they receive from the concerned authorities?
The old middle gauge railways, which today consist of Northwest Railway, Northeastern Railway, Northeast Frontier Railway, Southwest Railway, these railways were having mainly predominantly middle gauge sections, and they were hurriedly converted into broad gauge, retaining the old bridges, old alignments, old curves. So these are the railways which have issues with the track alignments, old bridges, predominantly, as compared to the other railways like Central Railway and Northern Railway, which were predominantly broad gauge from the beginning. So the railways, wherever the major gauge conversion have taken place, they lag behind in the track geometry.
See, Indian Railways largest traffic carried is on the Golden Quadrilateral. On those entire Golden Quadrilateral system and included zones, whatever is required on priority is being done and will always be done. It is outside those zones, which will mean North Frontier Railway, maybe parts of Southern Railway, parts of South Central Railway. But to say that they are not getting the appropriate attention would not be correct.
One of the experts Business Standard spoke to also said that when comparing railway safety in India with that in European countries and China, the limiting factor wasn't just availability of funds. Instead, the technology standards being used also played a role.
When we compare India with China in particular, the major issues, most of the innovations and technology advancements have been done in Europe, and Europe follows standard gauge. Fortunately for China, they also have the standard gauge. So for them, it was easy to adopt technology from Europe. They could simply copy it. While in case of India, all the technologies have to be redrafted, reconverted into broad gauge to suit the broad gauge thing. The average speed level of Europe and China is much higher than ours, and there the expenditure accordingly on signaling and other is many times more than what is our budget.
Ultimately, the recent decades have seen several policy and fiscal changes in terms of railway safety. However, the scale and size of the organization called Indian Railways requires significant time and oversight mechanisms for the changes to trickle down to its roots.
She's working her way to the corner office. Business Standard.
Safety concerns of the Indian Railway needs to be addressed urgently, especially at a time when the national transporter is seeing a significant adoption of technology. However, the railways are not the only sector in India that is set for a technological leap. As PM Narendra Modi prepares to leave for his first state visit to the United States in 15 years, India is set to elevate its strategic technology partnership with the US in defense, energy, and space. Among various agreements, all eyes will be on the GE Jet Engines Pact. So, what all are on the agenda of the Modi-Biden meet? And what should we expect from this? Tushar Verma finds out.
On 22nd June, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be flying to the USA on a state visit. The White House, in its statement, said the visit would strengthen the two countries' shared commitment to a free, open, prosperous, and secure Indo-Pacific region and a shared resolve to elevate strategic technology partnership in defense, clean energy, and space. Modi will also address the US Congress during his visit. As New Delhi and Washington maintain close ties on defense and trade, Modi's visit is seen as crucial to the diplomatic relation of the two nations amid heightened geopolitical tensions. Questions will be thrown at India's position on the Russia-Ukraine war. At the same time, the USA has expressed interests in partnering with India to thwart the rise and expansion of China. So, what all are there in the agenda between the two world leaders? Former Ambassador Manjeev Puri gives a peek into the priorities.
What have we seen over the last 9 years? A strong build-up of relationship, convergences which have now spanned two administrations. What is it that brings about these convergences? Geopolitics, certainly, the rise of China and the China factor, Indo-Pacific, all of that, but also the rise of India. You mentioned that about jet engines. Look, India has had a growing, let me say, relationship with the United States in the area of the military, especially in the area of the aviation side. We, if you recall, bought these huge, big, giant C-17s, the C-137s. So these upgrades have been taking place. I am glad that we are looking at the US engines, which are supposed to be among the best.
Among several agreements, India would be eyeing the much anticipated defense deal with GE jet engines. The famed GE Ep448 jet engines power the USA's Super Hornets fighter jets. The agreement will enable transfer of technology to India and allow GE to jointly manufacture jet engines in India. While the details of the agreement have been finalized, it awaits an approval of the US Congress. The engines will be used by India's Tejas Mark II fighters and other fighter jets in development, such as Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft or AMCA. Let's turn to Prabhat Kumar Bhagwan Das of Rossell, Texas, to understand the importance of GE jet engines in India defense aviation. India has been lagging in terms of jet engine technology. What was once thought of as not possible is now within reach thanks to Atmanirbhar Bharat. The GE jet engines will pave the way for technological makeover in India. The country has the technical strength to make quantum leaps with some prior know-how being established. There are other derivative applications like marine or land where similar technologies can be put to use. The agreement is primarily between GE and India's Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. However, if GE is to co-produce its engines, the private sector needs to be roped in to create an extensive ecosystem of defense tech-related production. Bhagwan Das of Rossell, Texas says, the extensive test and maintenance facilities form the core of how well India can apply its research and development abilities. Access should be granted to the private sector at affordable cost. Also, multiple facilities in different parts of the country could be set up. In May last year, the two countries announced the Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies or ICET. The two leaders are expected to discuss strategic technology partnership to build resilient semiconductor supply chains, space, telecom, and defense technology. The two countries aim to expand international collaboration in artificial intelligence, quantum technologies, and advanced wireless to build a robust innovation ecosystem. The upcoming meeting could be a step in the direction to make the agreements a reality.
Let me say that it is my considered belief that what can both sides. Now, it's a good augury that today the US Defense Secretary is in India. I mean, let's be clear, these are all preparatory to the big visit. But they are also not just preparatory, but they are trying to lay the groundwork for doing something truly substantive. Look, divergences between large societies, large economies, especially those that are democracies, will always be there. You mentioned Ukraine. Now, look, we have our interests in the matter. They have their interests in the matter. And so certain amount of, let me say, not being totally on the same page is par for the course. Let me also say the other thing about China, which people don't mention. When we use the word resilient supply chains, what we actually say is supply chains which, keep us within the circle of friends in some way.
However, experts say that challenges in implementing the agreed terms will be aplenty.
There are some specific areas. One is the area of trade and openness. Now, we are an economy which is growing. We also are an economy which has been protectionist. When we say make in India and talk in terms of we are free to let investments flow to India, the other person reads it as protectionism because for them, trade is a very important element of it. Then we have our own sets of restrictions in terms of where the data should be stored. We want various kinds of things in terms of investments, their stickiness for being here.
US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is presently in India to strengthen military ties between the two countries. Experts say it's indicative of the main agenda for the ModiBiden meet being defense cooperation.
Meanwhile, equity markets in India continue to face volatility as fears of a global slowdown have kept investors on the edge, offsetting hopes of ease in the monetary tightening cycle. So, should investors play it safe and stick to defensive themes amid current uncertainty? Harshita Singh finds out in the next report. High volatility on Dalal Street has kept a lid on market rally this year, even after a strong recovery from the March lows. While the Sensex and Nifty indices have gained up to 7% in the last 2 months, the two are up only 3% and 2% respectively so far in 2023. Though few sectors have put up an outperformance. The Nifty Auto Index, for instance, has rallied 18% over April and May as easing supply constraints and improved demand lifted auto stocks. The Nifty FMCG Index, meanwhile, has added 12% as the sector recently witnessed positive volume growth after 5 straight quarters of decline. The IT Index, however, has trailed with a meager gain of 2% on dismal outlook. Going ahead, analysts suggest investors turn away from defensive to high beta themes as they expect equities to gain strength.
Defining the negative sentiments around inflation, interest rates, and expensive valuation markets are near to all-time high. We believe a bull rally will follow us, and when Nifty 500 index crosses and sustains above 16,100, we are into that zone, and 16,100 looks forward for a very interesting time in markets. This is the time to go aggressive, shift the gears, and put more money in equities for 2 to 3 years. So this is not the time to stay defensive, rather this is the time to raise your bets to the pockets like PSU banks, infra and auto.
Among defensives, the pharma sector remains the preferred bet. As per Nuvama Institutional Equities, there is limited earnings risk for the pharma sector on stable domestic business, falling input costs, US volume recovery, and normalizing price erosion. Overall, given the positive underlying market strength, analysts suggest investors keep a buy on dip strategy.
But amid all, we feel that the positive trend is here to stay, and 18,103, 18,300 zone will continue to act as a very strong support. So maintain buy on dips approach as long as we are holding up this mark. And any decisive close above 18,700 would pave the way for new highs. And among the list of stocks, we feel that Apollo Hospital, Bank of Baroda, BHEL, Havells, Hero MotoCo, HUL, Lupin, Tata Communication, Titan. These are some of the names which one can look at from the short to medium term perspective.
Thus, analysts suggest investors go long on high beta plays amid a likely rally in the near to medium term. On Tuesday, June 6, Dalal Street will track global cues for direction amid stock-specific action.
He's moving from employee to employer. Business Standard.
On June 4, as the restoration efforts at the scenes of the Balasore train accident were being evaluated, Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnav stated that the change in electronic interlocking was to blame for the tragedy. It resulted in the death of more than 275 passengers. Ayush Mishra explains the crucial role that electronic interlocking systems play in railway safety.
Electronic signaling systems in railways use advanced technologies to control and manage railway traffic. These systems rely on electronic components, computers, sensors, and communication networks together, which provide precise control, monitoring, and communication between trains, trackside equipment, and connect them to the control centers. Interlocking systems, which allegedly led to the mishap, are a critical component of railway signaling systems that ensure the safe and efficient movement of trains. Interlocking systems coordinate the operation of signals, switches or points, and other trackside devices to prevent conflicting movements and maintain the integrity of train routes. They play a vital role in maintaining the safety and reliability of railway operations. But interlocking systems are not immune to malfunctions. There are several potential failures within the systems, each with its own consequences. The first possibility is conflicting movements. Interlocking systems prevent train collisions by avoiding conflicting signals or routes. If the system fails, conflicting signals can be displayed simultaneously, potentially leading to accidents. The second possibility is incorrect switch position. System failures can result in switches being set incorrectly, directing trains onto occupied tracks, thereby causing collisions. The third possibility can be signal failure. Interlocking system failures can lead to incorrect signals, confusing train drivers, potentially resulting in accidents if they misunderstand or disregard the faulty signals. The fourth possibility can be track occupation detection. The systems rely on track circuits to detect train presence. If the system fails, it may not accurately detect or report track occupancy, allowing multiple trains onto the same track and leading to collisions. The fifth possibility is miscommunication and coordination issues. Interlocking systems facilitate communication and coordination between different parts of the signaling system. A failure in this system can disrupt communication, leading to improper train routing or a failure to respond to emergencies, increasing the risk of accidents. Continuous review of safety measures, implementation of robust maintenance and monitoring systems are essential to ensure the integrity of electronic interlocking systems. Only through diligent efforts can we enhance railway safety and prevent accidents like the one in Balasore from recurring.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.
That's all for today. For more news and analysis, please log in to business-standard.com. Thanks for watching.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.